School Within School Approach, a potential solution to ELL students at risk. By Angel Gonzalez. Normally researchers group students according to different criteria. One of the ways to classify a student depends on the language that is spoken in the student's home. A language minority student comes from a home where a language other than English is used. An important defining characteristic of limited English proficient students is a limitation in their proficiency in English. English language learner and limited English proficient students all refer to a student whose native language is not English and is receiving special services to improve English language proficiency, ELP. The limited English proficiency population in the United States is constantly growing. The growth of LEP people in the United States has deeply impacted school dropout rates. The growth numbers were taken from the United States Census Bureau estimates. There were an estimated 25 million LEP people in the United States as of July 1, 2008. The current LEP population is comparable to that of the entire population of the state of Texas, or 20% larger than the populations of Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, South Dakota, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Colorado, Montana, and Wyoming combined. California, Texas, New York, New Mexico, Illinois, and Florida average a 15% LEP population, with 33% of the population speaking a language other than English at home. California, 6.7 million, or 20% are LEP, 14.2 million, or 42.3% speak a language other than English at home. Texas, 3.1 million, or 14.6% are LEP, 7.1 million, or 33.5% speak a language other than English at home. New York, 2.3 million, or 13% are LEP, 5.1 million, or 28.6% speak a language other than English at home. New Mexico, 188,000, or 10% are LEP, 648,000, or 36% speak a language other than English at home. Illinois, 1.1 million, or 9.8% are LEP, 2.5 million, or 21.6% speak a language other than English at home. Florida, 1.9 million, or 11.7% are LEP, 4.3 million, or 25.6% speak a language other than English at home. The growth of LEP people in the United States has deeply impacted school dropout rates. The following factors may affect LEP students dropping out: their level of proficiency in English language skills, school environment such as school size, location, safety, and attractiveness, the socio-economic and ethnic composition of the student body. One major factor that appears to increase the risk of LEP students dropping out of school is their level of competence in English language skills. Competency in English seems to be directly related to academic grades and mathematical achievement, and these factors, in turn, are related to dropping out of school. It is suggested that competency in English may be a causative factor in deciding to drop out, particularly as limited English proficiency may contribute to grade retention. School size may influence the dropout rate. Large student bodies seem to create a less positive environment that promotes less social integration and less identity with the school. School size may reflect the socio-economic status of the community, as large schools are often found in low-income areas. In an age of reform and restructuring, educators are seeking new models to improve their schools. One approach is to replicate the qualities, and hopefully the advantages, of a small school by creating a school within a school. The low academic achievement of minority and low-income students has often been attributed to linguistic, cultural, and social disadvantages or differences they bring to school. Such assumptions may reduce teachers' expectations about the academic abilities of these students, who are then judged by lower standards and less challenged by teachers to produce rigorous academic work. Residential mobility increases the probability that a student will drop out. Many Hispanic families tend to move often, and many of these families are limited English proficient. Frequent moves cause students to transfer between schools, which seems to have a negative impact on the students and results in a high dropout rate for such students. As mentioned before, the level of competence in English language increases the risk of LEP students to drop out of school. Between 69% and 90% of English language learners in K-12 were born in the United States and have been in American schools since kindergarten, but still have not achieved the academic proficiency to succeed in an all-English mainstream program. A variety of programs are available for schools to apply as whole school programs or as school-within-school programs. Schools differ in the manner in which they structure enrollment in their programs. Some schools offer programs to all students in the school who are in the grades at which the program operates. These are referred to as whole school programs. On the other hand, school-within-schools programs offer curricula to some, but not all of the students in the school. The two major models for ELL students are bilingual and monolingual programs. Bilingual programs incorporate English and the student's first language for instruction, enabling English language learners whose English skills are not sufficient to learn academic content using the home language. Two prominent types of bilingual programs are two-way programs and transitional programs. Two-way bilingual programs, these programs give equal status to English and to the student's home languages with the goal of developing strong academic skills and proficiency in both languages. Two-way programs enroll a roughly equal number of native English speakers and ELLs during the school day. Students can be instructed separately in each language and in mixed groupings in both languages. Transitional bilingual education programs. These programs initially provide literacy and academic content instruction in the English language learner's first language, along with instruction in English oral language development, while maintaining the goal of English language improvement and partial bilingualism. The language in which academic subjects are instructed progressively shifts from the student's native language to the mainstreamed language, English. In monolingual English programs, teachers instruct in English only. Unlike bilingual programs, these programs are more prevalent in school districts, where the ELL population is highly diverse with many languages represented. The programs mostly used are Sheltered English or Content-Based English as a second language and ESL pull-out/push-in programs. Sheltered English or Content-Based English as a second language. The focus of these programs is more on content and knowledge and on English language instruction. The goal is fluency in English, and instruction includes academic content, vocabulary, and beginning concepts. ESL pull-out/push-in programs. The goal of these programs is English language fluency, not content mastery. In the pull-out ESL program, English language learners are pulled out of regular, mainstream classrooms for special instruction in English as a second language. In contrast, the push-in ESL program brings the ESL teacher into the regular mainstream classroom to provide ESL instruction to a group of students. Schools-within-schools approach is seen as a potential solution to decrease the numbers of ELL students at risk of dropping out. In an era of improvement and rearrangement, educators are looking for new models to improve their schools. One approach is to reproduce and imitate the qualities and the benefits of a small school by creating a school within a school. This method establishes within the school a smaller educational unit with a separate educational program, its own staff and students, and its own budget. Designers of schools within schools pursue the benefits of both large and small schools by locating students into small learning groups while employing the resources of the bigger existing facilities. A review of the literature suggests that implementing the school within a school model has met with varying degrees of success in different settings. Academic benefits. Test scores of students in small schools are consistently higher than those in larger schools. Administrators of small schools are also better able to reform their curricula and teaching strategies. Smaller class sizes and interdisciplinary methods allow greater contact between student and teacher. And because teachers in smaller schools tend to be more aware of student performance, student accountability is increased. Social benefits. The greater sense of belonging that students feel in small schools fosters more caring through interpersonal relationships. Small school settings have been shown to enhance student self-perceptions, both socially and academically. Small schools also foster a more aware and involved faculty, which promotes positive student attitudes. Attendance and graduation benefits. The average national dropout rate for high schools with more than 1,000 students is 6.39%, whereas schools with fewer than 200 students have an average dropout rate of 3.47%. Research shows that small schools have higher rates of attendance, and large schools have safety and discipline benefits. Small schools generally have fewer discipline problems, and larger schools. The strong parental support and adult connections often present in small schools create a safer environment for students. Financial benefits. Studies have shown that larger schools spend more per student, as administrative costs grow with larger student bodies. Also, the cost of learning per unit is higher in larger schools, as a result of their often less favorable academic outcomes. School-within-school plans were initially conceived to offer alternatives to parents who wanted a specialized education for their children not available through the normal school structure or standard curriculum, such as for LEP students. Administrators have planned a diversity of plans in accord with the special conditions and resources of their districts, such as at-risk schools. These plans assist students who have not responded well to traditional learning settings, such as LEP students. A typical model includes traditional academic curriculum along with an English language instruction program in which students acquire English language skills to be successful in school. Academy clusters. In these models, students engage in classes or house systems aligned with their interests and possible career choices. One example of this model is the bilingual cluster concept at San Antonio, Texas. This program serves LEP students in grades K-5. It is a full-time program of dual language instruction that teaches basic skills, while students become proficient in English. Special curriculum models. These schools offer advanced courses for high-achieving students. Students are divided in two houses based on their special needs or interests. Newcomer schools. Newcomer schools are sometimes established in areas where a large number of students, generally elementary school students, are entering a school system for the first time and having difficulty with the transition. These programs address specific, short-term needs of recent immigrants, most often at the middle and high school levels, who have less time to meet expectations for English and academic development before high school graduation. Parent participation plans. In these plans, parents of elementary school children are permitted to enroll their children in the school only after making a commitment to donate a specific amount of their time and energy as teachers. One example of this type of programs is the LEP Parent Involvement Project that was developed to be used in various adult education settings such as ESL classes, community-based organizations and parent groups, for the purposes of helping parents and caretakers of limited English see themselves as active participants in their children's learning and high level of English proficiency attainment. Advisory systems. Under these systems, students are placed under the guidance and care of either a teacher or administrator for their entire school experience. Charter schools. Charter schools develop curricula independent of the public system. Charter schools are generally developed by parents or teachers seeking an alternative to standard programs. Conclusions. According to previous research of school-within-a-school students, when compared with non-school-within-a-school peers in large schools, the school-within-a-school students showed benefits in their academic achievement, social behavior, attitudes, satisfaction, student-teacher relations, and attendance. Most researchers have concluded that small school size is crucial for improving the performance of low-income students, such as ELL, and have recommended that school size should decrease as the proportion of ELL students grows. Also, it can be concluded that school-within-school model can act as potential solution to decrease the risk of ELL and LEP student dropouts. Finally, school-within-a-school approaches were conceived to offer alternatives to students who needed specialized education not available through the normal school structure or standard curriculum, which perfectly fits the profile of ELL students. Thank you.